as some of you already know, the complete Skywalker saga is now on Disney Plus. So I thought it would be a really good time to go back and rank all the Star Wars movies from the worst and to the best. Now, before we get started, this is a very, very controversial opinion. Star Wars movies, well, nowadays, these Star Wars movies that have newly been released are very, very controversial. So please, if you disagree with me, there's no need to go and hate on anybody. Just share your opinion down below in the comment section. And anybody down in the comment section, please don't go and hate on anybody for their opinion. It is their opinion. They are allowed to have their opinion. With that in mind, I'm going to start sharing my opinion of the Star Wars films ranked. At number 11, we have The Phantom Menace. And this movie is not a bad film. I can watch it. I will rewatch it. I mean, I love all the Star Wars films just because they're Star Wars and they have cool fights to me. But this movie, I think it takes too long to get to those fights. There's no action sequences in the middle. In the first part, you have a big action sequence where they're trying to go down to Naboo, save the Queen, and then in the middle they crash land on Tatooine, and they spent all this time kind of with Anakin Skywalker on Tatooine. And you do get a nice little pod race in the middle, but you don't really get any action. And then you come back and it's still just talking and trade negotiations. And then at the end, you get your final battle. So there's not much action in the movie, which makes it boring at times, especially on rewatches. So that's just why I consider this to be the worst Star Wars movie. At number 10 is Attack of the Clones. Now, I like this Star Wars movie. I do, mainly because it has more action than the previous Star Wars movie. But there's just some really cringy dialogue. Now, if you can get over that cringy dialogue, it's a good movie with some, too much CGI that just kind of annoys you and disturbs you. It's a movie that is a good filler episode movie. And so it does really nothing much. It kind of sets up Anakin's turn to the dark side a bit in a really weird way.
They're dead. Every single one of them. And not just the men, but the women. And the children, too.
Coming in at number 9 is The Last Jedi. Now, I don't have really big problems like many people do. This movie didn't ruin my entire Star Wars viewing experience. It just kind of was different, and I didn't like that. Mainly because Star Wars was originally intended to be this good versus evil, light side versus dark side. And this shows that there's just a gray area in there where good people can do bad things and bad people can do good things, which is the exact opposite reason why George Lucas created Star Wars in the first place. So, yeah, I feel like this movie, if it was in a different franchise, it would have been done really, really well and people would have loved it. But now that it's in Star Wars, a franchise kind of known for its good versus evil and no gray areas, it kind of falls flat on its own face. At number 8, we have The Force Awakens. Now, my typical problems with this is that it's just a recut of A New Hope. When I first saw it, I was like, wow, that's entertaining. And then I saw it again, I was like, wait a second. They're just ripping off A New Hope. And it's true, they are ripping off A New Hope. And Well, if I want to go see a movie that's formulaic like this, I'll just go see A New Hope. At number 7 is going to be Solo, a Star Wars story, and I've put it kind of right in the middle of the list because it's pretty much mid tier for me. It's there's nothing really really bad about it. There's nothing really really good about it either. It's just you go to the movie theater and you watch Star Wars. It is very boring. I think that's just it. It's very average, and there's not much to remember about it. It's just Solo. That's just it. It's just Solo, and there's nothing bad about it, and there's nothing good about it either. At number 6, we have Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and I will say that I did enjoy the movie. I thought it was very cool. The final battle at the end was very, very good. It was amazing. It is probably the best final battle that has ever been made in Star Wars history. Now, my problem with the movie is that on first viewing, it's very interesting. On second viewing, nothing. The first two acts don't really hold up because all you want is to get straight to the finale. So the first two acts don't really hold up. They don't have a great rewatchability factor. And I guess that's kind of where this movie fails for me. So for your first experience, it's very very good. For your second, third, fourth, beyond, it's not as good. It's in fifth place we have The Rise of Skywalker. Now I did actually enjoy this movie. I think this is actually the only like very good sequel movie. The movie is very entertaining. I've only watched the movie twice, and every time I sit down I go, okay, great, we're not wasting any time. But another problem with the movie, just because it's not wasting any time, it's not giving any time for character development as well. The only character development we do get is a quick vision, then a secret dark version of Rey, and then we get a talk between Luke and Rey. I mean, that doesn't really prove a character arc. That there's no character arcs in the movie. There could be your Ben Solo character arc, which it's not a character arc. Out of nowhere, he's fighting Rey, and then Han just goes, hey kid, you can be good. You can be good. And Kyle's like, all right, I'm gonna be good now. So there's no character arc in the movie. It's very entertaining to watch, but then again, it doesn't waste any time, and it doesn't give time either. Coming in at spot number 4 is Episode 4, A New Hope. The one that started it all is one of the better ones, and it immediately kicks off, and you know what's going on. Like, the opening crawl clearly states, this is happening. So immediately as you jump in, you go, okay, great. So it has all the action. It's a perfectly formatted movie. It manages to tell a nice character arc of Luke, a kid who's always relied on his aunt and uncle, and he grows up and he learns that life is more complicated than all of that. Through Ben's death, through his aunt and uncle's death, he learns really all of that, and he learns to trust in the Force and make his own decisions, which is how he manages to defeat the Death Star, or destroy the Death Star. So overall, it's a very, 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 very movie that holds up. It's a movie that holds up. It's not the best movie, but it's still a very, very good film. At number 3 is going to be Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. And what I like about this movie is not that it never stops. At the times when you want it to never stop, in the middle of a space battle, in the middle of a space battle, it doesn't stop. It just finishes the space battle. Then you kind of get your character arcs, and then you get an action scene. And it doesn't stop in the middle of an action scene. And then you just keep on going and going until the final battle. At the very end of the final battle, you get that big emotional payoff to Obi-Wan and Anakin's friendship. It's truly gut-punching when you watch that scene. To see that friendship fall apart, it's gut-wrenching. And one of the reasons why I absolutely love the movie. In second place is going to be what most people have at first place, and that's The Empire Strikes Back. And the reason I have Empire at second place is mainly because of just the main heroes being separated. I really liked the banter that Luke and Han had.
I'm not going anywhere.
They're gonna execute her. Look, a few minutes ago you said you didn't want to just wait here to be captured. Now all you want to do is stay?
Marching into the detention area is not what I had in mind.
But they're gonna kill her!
Better her than me.
And in this movie, they're separated, and they don't get to see each other till next movie, which I don't like. I mean, I like the Hoth space. I liked all the action in the movie. The big twist at the end, absolutely amazing. Was mind blowing. And then you got some brand new characters. Boba Fett, wish they'd done more with him. Lando is another amazing new addition, as well as Yoda. He's another amazing new addition. But overall, it just kind of loses some of that flavor that the other two movies in the original trilogy have. That's just my opinion. If you liked them separated, that's fine. But I really wanted to see more of Luke and Han bantering, or Luke and 3PO bantering. So my favorite Star Wars movie is Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. And the reason I just love that Star Wars movie so much is because the Jabba the Hutt sequence, it never stops for any character development. It feels like a short film in and of itself, not like a 30-minute short film, maybe even more, like 40-minute short film. And then it actually kicks off with the whole movie and things like that. And I understand why they did it that way, and it is kind of a complaint that I have with the movie. But when you're watching the movie, you never get bored. You always sit there and you go, yeah, the Jabba part. Or yes, Luke has a green lightsaber now. Or yes, Anakin's turning back to the good side. You never get bored. And that flavor is always there. You always go, yes, it's Star Wars. And then you have the massive space battle at the end. And the film does have lots of plot holes and pacing problems, but I can easily get around those because it's just Star Wars, and everything to me is entertaining, even when it's not. I know that kind of contradicts stuff that I've said before, but this movie in particular just has scene after scene after scene. So this movie for me should have been the ultimate conclusion to the Star Wars Skywalker saga. Maybe make Rogue One, make Disney Plus TV series, but this should have been the ultimate conclusion. And I'm sad that it wasn't. I mean, The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, they didn't really do a good job at going, hey, this is how we're going to continue the story, and The Rise of Skywalker just had to wrap everything up. So, this is my favorite Star Wars movie. So how about you guys tell me down below in the comment section what is your favorite Star Wars movie? And if you want to see more videos like this, you can check over here for just any Star Wars stuff. And you can check down here to subscribe to my channel. But thank you guys so much for watching, and may the Force be with you.